I'm Amy, thank you for tuning in. This video is my December wrap up, even though I'm filming it in January, so Happy New Year. I hope you had a lovely Christmas if you celebrate, break if you don't, and I hope that the new year has started really well for you. So far it's been quite a quiet start to the year for me, but I'm feeling really excited about things that I'm going to be doing this year, books I'm going to be writing, time I'm going to be spending with my family, so I always really enjoy January. It feels like it's a lovely fresh start. So to the books, I didn't read that many books in December and had all these plans to read Christmassy books or festive books, and I ended up having a few proofs to read that aren't out yet, so I wanted to read those before they come out, and a few blurb requests, so I have to read books before they're going to be printed or before the proofs are going to be made, so that the quotes can be used in them. So I always try and do blurb requests of books that I've really enjoyed, so I ended up prioritising that rather than seasonal books. So I did read one book that was seasonal, and I read lots of great books in December. So the first book I read on my Kindle, and I'm holding it here because I always forget to mention Kindle books otherwise. I'm sure Kev will put a nice image so you can see the cover. The book was Overthinking by David Fem. It's the sequel to Over Emotional, which is a book about a boy who has been struggling with his superpowers until he ends up accidentally exploding a boy's head when he kisses him, because his powers have this strange effect where if he feels really happy, something really bad happens in the world. If he feels really bad, something really good happens in the world. And it's this world where people have certain people have these abilities. So I really enjoyed the first book. I read that one in November, so when my November wrap up is up, because things are all a bit out of order, I don't know if this will have gone up yet. When that wrap up is up, you'll be able to hear my full review of that. But I loved Overthinking just as much. I think it is really hard with a sequel, and I should know because I've written two of them. It's really hard with a sequel to make it feel as good as the first book. I think you want a sequel, in my opinion, to up the stakes and to still give you more of the things that you wanted, and Overthinking definitely did that. It had me overthinking one thing through the book, and then nicely kind of turned on its head what I expected. It had an intriguing mystery going through it where you were trying to figure out who was causing certain issues in the book, I'll say without giving any spoilers. And I just think that these are absolutely great books. They feel like a breath of fresh air. They're just different from things that I've read recently. I think I love reading and I read a lot, which means that sometimes you start to find patterns in books and things that feel similar. And these just feel really fresh and different. They've got lovely found family, great relationships, lots of representation, including central male relationship. And I just really like these books. They're really lovely characters. I think it's going to be a trilogy, so I'm looking forward to seeing how the whole thing will wrap up. Next up, I'm going to talk about this book, which I absolutely adored, All the Hidden Monsters by Amy Jordan. It comes out in May. Again, one that feels really unique. I'm finding books recently, the ones that I really love seem to be the ones that just seem fresh. This one is described as a crime romantasy, which I think is pretty accurate. And it says on the front, "Cozy crime is dead, so is Lucy Haig." And in this book, you have a warlock and a werewolf who are investigating a series of killings of werewolves in this world, which is very beautifully drawn and very cleverly explained, where there's sort of, I can't remember the exact terminology, but there's like an underworld and an overworld, and creatures who manifest only in a sort of supernatural way are hidden away from humans, and creatures who can mix with humans and kind of pass as human. Can mix with humans, but they're registered by this sort of secret society. I'm sure I explained that really badly, but hopefully you get the point. And I just thought the world building in this book was amazing. It felt like fantasy, but fantasy that I could access because I'm not the biggest fantasy reader. I love the characters. I love the found family feel, the relationships between them. The mystery was really good and kept me guessing. I just thought that this was great. This is a debut novel, and it was really accomplished. I'm quite surprised actually, because I think debut novels can be absolutely amazing, but this one just felt really accomplished and really well done in every single way. So that was another book that I really love that month. Next one I'm going to talk about is a book I've talked a lot on social media about, so if you've been following my social media you'll know. The Gathering by CJ Tudor is another book that I thought was brilliant. It comes out in April, and it's CJ Tudor's take on vampires.
Come on, vampires! Urgh, nasty!
I love her books. If you know anything about me, you'll know that I love vampires in any form of media. So this one, I mean, look how gorgeous the cover is, one thing, and the book just really delivers on that. A great cover, great book. So in this book, people know that vampires are real, and the main character is a detective who goes to investigate a killing that may have been perpetrated by a vampire, and if it has, then the vampires in the nearby vampire community can be called. So it sort of is one of those books that draws a lot of parallels. You can see modern themes coming through it, shall we say, without spoiling too much about the plot. I thought that the vampires were very interesting in this book. I like the way C.J. Tudor used vampire mythology but kind of put her own spin on it. I thought the characters were great. The town was really interesting, a really suffocating, oppressive town which is small. Everybody knows everybody. Lots of people have secrets. It's just a brilliant book. If you like vampires, if you like really well drawn horror thrillers, definitely pick this one up. Next we've got the YA Book Club pick for December. You better watch out. This is about a girl who receives a Secret Santa present on every day of the month, left in the apartment block next to hers, which has been abandoned. And it's really hard to explain this, but bear with me. Each room, each floor lights up every day of this 25 or 26 floor apartment block. And when the floor lights up, she has to go and collect the new gift. They become increasingly sinister. I thought that this was a really great mystery, and the characters were well drawn. There's lots of different representation in it. I would recommend you check the content on it. There's lots of content which is quite heavy for a YA book, I would say. So please, there are resources online that have the content. I won't mention it here just in case anybody doesn't want to hear about it. Please do check it out. If you're looking for a tightly plotted, festive thriller that has got some really dark elements in, then please do consider checking this one out. Next up, we've got a really fun, light book, in contrast to the last one. Totally Deceased is about a girl who wakes up from a heart transplant and discovers that she's been haunted by the girl whose heart has been put into her, and she ends up going on a kind of madcap caper to find the killer of the girl whose heart she's got. I thought that this one was great. For me, I don't find funny books that funny often, which sounds strange, but it's really hard to make me laugh in a book for some reason. And this one had me smiling and chuckling all the way through. I thought that the humour was genuinely, it was funny in my book. I know that that's really subjective when it comes to comedy, but this one I thought was really, really great. And I love the mystery. The characters were so great, and it brought tears to my eyes in quite a few places, which again is unusual for me. Kind of happy tears and some moments that were really poignant. I just thought it's a really beautiful book. It's a great book about friendship, a great book about a girl who's gone through something difficult, and it describes really well sort of the procedure that she's been through and the knock-on of that. It isn't just that she's had a heart transplant and she feels absolutely fine. It kind of talks about the repercussions of that, which I thought was really nicely done. In a book that feels really light and fun, it also kind of deals really sensitively with that difficult issue. So highly recommended. Another great book to round out the year. And this one is one that comes out, I'm gonna have to check when, February 2024. Is a debut novel by Jay McGuinness, who is a member of the band The Wanted. I met him at Yelk and he was super lovely, so it was really nice to be able to get an early copy of his book. So this one is a world where people collect these red flowers that are used all the way through the kingdom for different things, and have quite addictive qualities. And it has a mystery at the heart of this book. It has a really slow burning romance. And I thought that it was just a really nicely done fantasy where it feels like fantasy fans will enjoy it to me, but it also is accessible for people who aren't massive fantasy fans. I found that it kind of moved along at a nice pace. It had lots of intriguing elements and some creepy elements, including, without giving too much of a spoiler, some creatures who felt a little bit like vampires to me, and I really enjoyed those parts that kind of dipped into horror especially. So that is it. I think I only read 6 books that month, but they were good ones. Quite a range of genres, so please let me know in the comments if you think that you would enjoy any of those books, if you've read them and you have any thoughts. If there's any books you think I would enjoy based on those, I would love to hear about it. And as always, likes and subscribes are really appreciated. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.